Man, bro, did a song with Lil Ty. Man, shut y'all pussy ass, bitch ass, ain't gonna do shit ass niggas up, man. All that crying and shit by the fucking song, man. Get some fucking money.
Welcome back to Buzzbuster. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. Chief Keef just dropped a bombshell. He linked up with NBA YoungBoy, the biggest rival of O-Block, and now word is flying that his own people might be trying to sneak him out the picture. OTF members are flooding social media, blasting Sosa and saying they're done with him, and this whole situation is spiraling fast. But here's the crazy twist. Most folks don't even realize that Chief Keef actually cut ties with O-Block years ago. And now we're breaking down why he turned his back on the same block that built his legend. Back in the day, Chief Keef was the heartbeat of O-Block, the drill pioneer who put Chicago's wild sound on the global map. But somewhere along the line, the love turned sour. What started as brotherhood flipped into betrayal. His latest move with NBA YoungBoy didn't just anger OTF, it ripped open old wounds that had been hiding in the shadows for years. To really get why Sosa went from O-Block royalty to public enemy #1, we gotta rewind the clock. Let's take it back to the early 2000s, when Keith Cozart was just another kid from Parkway Gardens, known around the hood as O-Block Keith. Back then, he was locked in tight with his crew, King Von, Boss Top, Doe, and Trey 5. These weren't just rap partners, these were his day ones, his brothers. They all came up together, fighting through the struggle, where every day felt like a test of survival. Their loyalty was everything. They were all black disciples, all from the same side, moving as one solid unit in a city that showed zero mercy. Even as a kid, Keef's talent stood out. He'd be freestyling on a little karaoke mic, dreaming big, while the block around him was full of danger. Von was already earning his stripes in the streets. Boss Top was like the big brother everyone respected, and Trey 5 had a name that made people stay alert. This was before the fame, before the money, just a group of young hustlers trying to make it out alive from one of Chicago's toughest neighborhoods. They went through everything together: shootouts, police raids, late-night drama, all of it. When one of them got locked up, the whole crew stood tall and ready to move for each other, no hesitation. And through all that chaos, the bond between Chief Keef and King Von ran even deeper. They weren't just connected through music, it was real brotherhood, built long before the fame ever came. They were locked in, crafting that raw, unstoppable sound that would flip the whole music game upside down. Chief Keef and Von were inseparable, two wild young dudes living fast, doing things the cameras could never show. Their connection wasn't fake, it was solid, more like family than friends. But everything changed the second Keef dropped I Don't Like back in 2012. That song didn't just go viral, it exploded across the rap world and created a whole new wave. Millions of views came pouring in overnight. And when Kanye West jumped on the remix, the song went from a local anthem to a worldwide phenomenon. Suddenly, this kid from Parkway Gardens was the most talked about name in the country. Then came that massive Interscope deal, reportedly worth around $6 million. And just like that, Keef went from being broke in the trenches to having real superstar money. But that's exactly where the trouble started. Fame switched everything up. The money, the spotlight, the constant pressure, it all changed how Sosa moved. His first big move, packing up and leaving Chicago for Los Angeles. And if you know how things go in O-Block, that kind of move speaks volumes. When someone from your block makes it out, the code says you lift your people with you. That's the unspoken law. You never forget the ones who held you down when you had nothing. But instead of bringing Von, Boss Top, and the rest of the O-Block homies with him, Keef only took his blood cousins, Doe and Ball Out from Glow Gang. From a business standpoint, it made sense. Family is family, and he probably felt like he could only trust his own blood. But in the streets, that move cut deep. It felt like betrayal. These were the same dudes who had gone through everything with him: fights, close calls, and all the chaos that came with their life back then. They stood by him when the odds were stacked high, and now they were watching him live it up in Hollywood without him. That's when the whisper started: resentment, jealousy, and heartbreak mixing into one dangerous storm. When Keef blew up, the whole crew expected him to look out, maybe put him on payroll, line up record deals, or at least fly him out to LA so they could be part of the glow-up. But Sosa was thinking differently. He was in a whole new zone, moving like the old crew didn't even exist anymore. And that's when the real tension between Keef and O-Block began to heat up. Now Sosa was all about cutting ties with the same street life that made him famous in the first place. And honestly, you can't totally blame him. He had just signed a multi-million-dollar deal, and getting caught up in hood politics could have wrecked everything he worked for. But his people didn't see it that way. To them, it felt like fame had changed him, like he forgot the ones who held him down before the whole world even knew his name.
That's when things started to turn dark. In this next situation, it's the one that completely shattered his bond with O-Block for good. One of the most respected names from the block, Trey 5, got locked up on a serious charge and needed $25,000 for bail. This wasn't just anybody. Trey 5 was known as one of O-Block's most feared soldiers, a dude who had gone to war for that block and for Keef back in the day. The crew knew they had to bring their guy home, so they started hustling hard, moving nonstop, doing whatever it took to raise that cash. After grinding for days, they managed to scrape together around $18,000, but they were still $7,000 short, and time was running out fast. That's when they decided to hit up the one person who could fix it all in a heartbeat, Chief Keef. From their side, this should have been nothing, just a small favor. $7,000 was pocket change to Sosa by then, and this wasn't just anyone asking. This was for a man who had literally protected him when he was still that hungry kid from Parkway Gardens. At first, Keef didn't hesitate. He said he'd take care of it. The block breathed a sigh of relief, feeling like their day one was still solid. People even started talking, saying, "Sosa's still real, he didn't forget us." But out of nowhere, everything flipped. Keef went completely ghost. No calls, no texts, no nothing. It was like he vanished overnight. The crew kept reaching out, hoping maybe there was a mix-up, but Sosa stayed silent. That moment hit deep. It wasn't just about money anymore, it was about loyalty. To them, it felt like their superstar had turned his back on the same people who helped build him. That silence from Sosa echoed louder than any diss track could. And from that day on, the bond between Chief Keef and O-Block was broken beyond repair. While all that tension was exploding behind the scenes, Chief Keef was out here on Instagram and Twitter living like nothing had ever happened. He was flexing heavy, showing off luxury cars, stacks of jewelry, designer fits, and bragging about dropping $10,000 on a four-wheeler. That's more than enough to get his homie out of jail. And people noticed. The timing looked bad, real bad. His people were back home stressing, hustling to scrape together bond money, while their so-called brother was online flashing cash and living like a rock star. The disrespect hit different. To them, it felt like Sosa had not only forgotten the block, he was mocking it. That's when the anger inside O-Block really started boiling over. They felt betrayed, humiliated, and straight up abandoned by the same man they once called family. So when it became clear that Keef wasn't going to come through, Boss Top, King Von, and a few others made a tough and dangerous decision. They were done waiting. They decided to handle things their own way, and what they planned next would destroy every ounce of loyalty that was left. They plotted to rob Chief Keef, and this wasn't some random street hit by strangers. This was personal. These were the same dudes who grew up with him, who knew how he moved, where he stayed, and everything he owned. They hit the spot Keef was renting with his manager, and once they got inside, things went from tense to explosive. What started as a robbery turned into total chaos. They grabbed everything: jewelry, designer clothes, kicks, watches, even random stuff like deodorant and his daughter's diapers. It was wild. But the most shocking part? Reports say Boss Top allegedly snatched Keef's chain right off his neck. In the streets, that's not just theft, that's a statement. Taking someone's chain is a public sign of disrespect, a way of saying, you're not the boss anymore. It sent a message that O-Block no longer saw Sosa as one of their own. And then things went even further left. During all that madness, one of Keef's own homies ended up getting shot. To this day, no one knows exactly who pulled the trigger, but one thing's for sure, the situation turned deadly serious fast.
This wasn't some small-time grab-and-go anymore. It was a violent fallout between brothers who used to ride for each other. By the time it was over, the crew had taken what they wanted and left the place wrecked, not just physically, but emotionally. Keef lost more than money that night. He lost trust, respect, and the last piece of brotherhood he had left with O-Block. That single night flipped the script for good, turning what used to be loyalty into all-out war. After the robbery, the crew reportedly used the stolen money to finally post bond for Trey 5, getting their guy back on the streets. In their minds, the mission was complete. They got what they needed and made their point. But even though they achieved their goal, the damage was already beyond repair. The trust was gone, the loyalty shattered, and the brotherhood that once kept them together broken forever. Keef's ex-manager supposedly called the cops during the chaos, but when the police arrived, nobody talked, not a single word. The code of the streets stayed in effect, but silence doesn't mean forgiveness. Keef knew exactly who had crossed him, and one thing about Sosa, he never forgets a betrayal. Still, what came next made that robbery look small compared to what was about to unfold.
According to street sources and insider whispers, things took a way darker turn. King Von's name started surfacing in connection with one of the most painful losses in Chief Keef's life, the death of his own cousin, Blood Money. And that's where this story gets deep, tragic, and twisted. Blood Money, real name Mario Hess, wasn't just family to Keef. He was a member of Front Street, part of Keef's original circle, and one of his biggest day one supporters. He believed in Sosa before the fame, before the millions, back when it was just dreams and dirty microphones. Sadly, in 2014, Blood Money was shot and killed, a loss that shattered Keef's world. For years, nobody knew for sure what went down or who pulled the trigger. The official version said it was another casualty in Chicago's ongoing street wars, just another name added to the endless list of tragedies. But the streets told a different story, one filled with betrayal, revenge, and coded messages. Whispers started spreading like wildfire. King Von's name kept coming up, tied to rumors about Blood Money's death. People online started connecting the dots, digging through old tweets, clips, and interviews from that time, trying to piece together what really happened. Some claimed Von did it as payback, maybe over something Blood Money said or did. But another theory hit harder, one that left people stunned. Some believed Von allegedly did it as a personal strike to hurt Chief Keef directly. Think about it. This happened right when Sosa's bond with O-Block was crumbling. Emotions were raw, anger, pride, all boiling in the air. Then suddenly, Keef's cousin, his blood, gets taken out under mysterious circumstances. The timing felt too wild to ignore. And then came the most chilling part. After Blood Money's death, Von allegedly posted cryptic messages online that many thought were taunting the situation. In one post, he reportedly wrote, "I'm King Von from O-Block. I run shit," a line that sounded eerily similar to lyrics from one of Blood's own songs. Fans believed it was Von's twisted way of flipping Blood's words, like he was symbolically taking control after the tragedy. To make it even more suspicious, just days before that post, a woman named Kai, who was rumored to have some kind of connection to Blood Money's murder, was killed. The timing was too close, too strange, and it had the streets talking non-stop. It started feeling like messages were being sent not through words, but through bloodshed. From that moment on, whatever was left between Chief Keef and O-Block was officially dead. Not just emotionally, but literally. That brotherhood that once stood strong had turned into heartbreak, revenge, and loss. The kind of story that still haunts Chicago to this very day. Some people tried to interpret Von's posts differently, saying maybe he was celebrating that the person who allegedly killed Blood Money had been taken out, not mocking the death itself. But others believed Von had a direct hand in it, that he was deeper in the situation than anyone realized.
Street insider Jay Hood, who's spoken in multiple interviews about Chicago's underground politics, claimed that around this time, Von and T. Roy were both moving under Boss Top's direction. It painted a picture of loyalty lines getting blurred, of brotherhoods turning cold, and of a city where every move carried meaning, sometimes deadly meaning. By the end of it, what once started as music and unity had turned into a storm of betrayal, cryptic messages, and blood ties broken forever. If Boss Top really had issues with Keef and wanted to send a powerful message, then Von and T. Roy would have been the ones to carry it out. That's where this theory takes a dark, real dark turn. Some street sources believe Von didn't just help rob Chief Keef. He allegedly took it way further and was connected to the death of Keef's own family member, Blood Money. That's a line that can never be crossed. And if there's even a shred of truth to that, it explains exactly why Keef's anger toward his old crew runs so deep to this day. You can see it years later, clear as day, when King Von was tragically killed in Atlanta in November 2020. Chief Keef didn't post anything. No RIP, no Instagram story, no tweet. Total silence, not a word. And remember, Von wasn't just some random rapper. This was the same guy Keef grew up with, the same one who used to be in his house, on his block, every single day back in O-Block. But when Von died, Sosa acted like he never existed, and that silence said everything. In Chicago and in the rap game in general, when someone from your circle passes away, it's almost tradition to show love, post memories, share pictures, say your goodbyes, something. But Keef's silence, that confirmed what the streets had been whispering for years. Their relationship had been dead long before Von ever got shot, and it went even deeper than just silence. In old interviews, Von mentioned that he and Keef had recorded multiple songs together back in their early days, but guess what? Keef never dropped a single one, not even a snippet. That's how personal their fallout was. Sosa would rather let bangers sit on hard drives forever than give Von any spotlight or profit off of their past connection.
When the news of Von's death hit the internet, everybody from Chicago was posting tributes. Lil Durk, Polo G, 600 Breezy, even some of Von's former rivals showed love. The city mourned together, but Keef, he stayed completely quiet. Not one comment, not one emoji, nothing. It was like he was saying, "I don't care that he's gone," without ever saying a word. That cold silence hit harder than any diss track could. It showed just how deep the wounds really went. Keef wasn't just hurt, he was done. The betrayal, the robbery, the rumors, the bloodshed, it all piled up and turned what used to be brotherhood into something darker than anyone could have imagined. Fast forward to 2024, and Chief Keef shocked the entire drill scene again. Out of nowhere, he linked up in the studio with NBA YoungBoy. The two actually made music together, something nobody thought would ever happen. To casual fans, that might just look like another rap collab, but to anyone who knows the street politics behind it, this was massive. This wasn't just Sosa teaming up with another artist. This was him connecting with Lil Durk and OTF's biggest rival. The tension between NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk has been one of the wildest and most dangerous feuds in hip-hop for years. So for Keef, the same guy who came up with Durk, Von, and O-Block to work with YoungBoy, that sent shockwaves through Chicago and beyond. To the streets, it looked like a final statement, like Keef was saying, "I'm not tied to O-Block no more. I move on my own terms." And that move didn't just make headlines, it reminded everyone just how far things had fallen between Chief Keef and the crew that once helped make him a legend. Diss tracks flying back and forth, crews clashing, and real-life consequences that left scars on both sides. The beef between camps was already boiling hot. So when Chief Keef, the same dude who came from O-Block, suddenly popped up in the studio with NBA YoungBoy, it was like dropping a nuclear bomb right in the middle of Chicago street politics. When that studio footage hit the internet, fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Keef and YoungBoy chillin', laughing, vibing like they'd been friends for years. You could tell instantly this wasn't some quick collab for attention. This was a statement.
The energy between them looked real, the chemistry natural. Keef wasn't just recording a track, he was sending a loud message to everyone watching. He didn't care about opinions, expectations, or the backlash from back home. From Keef's point of view, the timing couldn't be sharper. For years, he'd stayed out of the Durk versus YoungBoy feud, keeping things neutral and peaceful, probably figuring that staying quiet was the smartest way to protect himself and his brand. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Maybe it was pride, maybe it was time catching up, or maybe Sosa was just tired of pretending to play peacekeeper in a war he never asked to join. Whatever it was, Keef made his choice, and it definitely wasn't with his old Chicago homies. Once that footage spread all over social media, the reaction from OTF and O-Block affiliates was instant and brutal. Instagram stories started flying, tweets turned cryptic but deadly clear, and the tone across the board was pure outrage. They felt betrayed, plain and simple. In their eyes, Keef had officially crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. The message came through loud and clear. If you're with YoungBoy, you're against us. No middle ground. Some OTF affiliates even went online posting things like, "We don't mess with that type of movement," and claiming Sosa switched sides. The energy was ice cold, personal, raw, and full of anger. But what made it even more serious was that it wasn't just internet talk. People who actually knew the deep history between Keef and O-Block started speaking up too. These weren't just random fans. These were people who had seen the rise and fall of that brotherhood up close. And they weren't sugarcoating it. They said straight up, this was the final straw. After years of keeping quiet and trying to stay distant from Keef, the OTF circle finally snapped. They didn't care about the fame, the money, or the music. This was about loyalty. And from their side, Sosa had just thrown that loyalty away by stepping into the studio with their biggest rival. Chief Keef didn't just make a song, he reignited one of the most dangerous rivalries in hip-hop. His move didn't just shift the music scene, it reopened old wounds that many thought had healed long ago. To the fans, it was just another collaboration, but to those who know the streets, this was a full-blown declaration, proof that Keef was officially done with Chicago politics and ready to stand on his own, no matter who had a problem with it. The whole city felt betrayed, the internet exploded, and Chief Keef, he looked completely unbothered, like he'd been waiting years to make this statement loud and clear. What made OTF's reaction so explosive wasn't just the music itself, it was what it meant. To them, this wasn't about a simple studio session or a beat, this was personal. From their side, Chief Keef had made a deliberate choice, teaming up with a man who'd been beefing with their crew for years, dissing their fallen homies, and standing on everything OTF had been fighting against since day one. It felt like betrayal all over again, and emotions started running hot across Chicago's drill scene.
With Chief Keef's camp, Glow Gang wasn't about to sit quiet or take that kind of heat. They came firing back instantly, making it crystal clear they didn't care one bit about what OTF had to say. One Glow Gang member hopped online and posted, "We don't care what OTF got going," basically telling them to stay in their lane and stop worrying about Sosa's moves. The message came off cold, sharp, and straight up fearless, showing everyone that Glow Gang wasn't intimidated by anyone. Then another Glow Gang affiliate jumped in and took it even further, clowning the entire situation. They dropped laughing emojis, cracked jokes, and treated all the drama like pure entertainment. To them, it was nothing serious, just noise, and that attitude made OTF even angrier. The more serious and emotional OTF got, the more Glow Gang laughed, widening the gap between both sides even more. And just when everyone thought the tension couldn't go any higher, came the wildest twist yet. One insider from Glow Gang claimed that Chief Keef and NBA YoungBoy didn't just record one track together, they made 7. 6 of them still unreleased, locked away in the vault and ready to drop at any time. That revelation changed the entire game. That meant this wasn't just a one-off collab, it was the beginning of a real partnership. If true, it showed that Keef had been planning this move for a while, thinking long-term, not emotional. He wasn't chasing approval from Chicago anymore. He was building his own path, his own legacy, and he didn't need anyone's validation to do it.
Glow Gang's been standing strong for years now, making hits, running their brand, selling out shows, and stacking money without relying on OTF for the city's cosign. Their message couldn't be clearer. We built our own empire. They move how they want, when they want, no permission needed. In fact, some Glow Gang members even hinted that working with YoungBoy was more than just music, it was strategy. They said the partnership was way more profitable, smart, and forward-thinking than linking with anyone from Chicago right now. To them, it wasn't betrayal, it was business. They saw Chief Keef's connection with NBA YoungBoy as a power move, a way to expand the brand, not stir the pot. While the rest of the city was focused on old feuds and street loyalty, Keef was out here playing chess, not checkers, proving once again that he was done living by Chicago's rules and ready to rewrite them on his own terms. A power move meant to boost his career and his money from their point of view. If old friends can't handle that, that's their issue to figure out. Keef's mindset seems focused on one thing: progress, even if it means leaving emotional ties in the past. But just when everyone thought it couldn't get crazier, it did. Lou Tim, the man who famously killed King Von in Atlanta, jumped into the mix and started co-signing Keef's link-up with YoungBoy. He posted content online, basically showing love to the move, and that's where things went from tense to downright dangerous. Think about that. The same guy who took Von's life was now publicly supporting Chief Keef, a move that instantly added another layer of chaos to the situation for OTF. That was beyond disrespect. It was a slap in the face. Seeing Tim side with Keef felt like the ultimate betrayal, one that blurred the lines between music, beef, and real life, street warfare. Lou Tim's involvement made it clear this situation wasn't just about songs or clout, it was about power, loyalty, and legacy. His response showed just how tangled these Chicago and Baton Rouge connections have become, linking together multiple rivalries, heartbreaks, and losses into one explosive moment that the rap world won't forget anytime soon. Lou Tim backing up Chief Keef wasn't just random support. It hinted that there might be way more going on behind the scenes than anyone realizes. Maybe Tim knows something deeper about the history between Keef and Von, something that makes him feel like Sosa's moves are justified. Or maybe he's just trying to stir the pot and keep the drama alive. Either way, when King Von's killer publicly co-signs your move against Von's own crew, that sends a chilling message to everyone watching. It's almost like Tim was saying, even I get why Keef turned his back on him. That's wild. But to really understand why this entire situation has the streets and the internet going crazy, you've got to look beneath the surface. This isn't just about rap beef or money. This is about respect, loyalty, and street codes that people in Chicago live and die by every single day. From Chief Keef's perspective, he feels he has every right to move how he wants. Let's be real, his own people robbed him, allegedly killed his cousin, and showed zero loyalty when he needed them the most.
This is the same man who put O-Block on the global map. Chief Keef turned a neighborhood name into a worldwide symbol. The sound, the culture, the identity, it all started with him. And after everything he did to make them known, he says they paid them back with betrayal and violence. From Keef's point of view, cutting them off wasn't shady, it was self-defense. But from O-Block's side, the story looks completely different. They believe Keef abandoned them the moment he got rich. To them, he turned his back on the same people who helped him survive when the world didn't know his name. When he left the trenches for Los Angeles and only brought his blood cousins with him, it felt like a slap in the face. And when they reached out for help, like when they needed that bond money for Tree 5, Keef's silence hit harder than any insult could. In their eyes, it wasn't about dollars, it was about loyalty. They saw a superstar who forgot the block that built him, the friends who once risked it all beside him. But the truth? It probably sits somewhere in the middle. Keef likely did get caught up in the fame, the money, and the chaos that comes with the spotlight. And honestly, who could blame him? Chicago's streets were getting more dangerous by the day, and staying too close to that world could have cost him everything he'd worked for. At the same time, O-Block might have had unrealistic expectations, thinking Keef owed them a piece of his success just because they came up together. They wanted him to play the hero of the block, while he was just trying to save himself. That's what makes this entire feud so explosive.
Both sides feel completely justified. From Keef's side, he believes he was betrayed first. The robbery, the rumors, the bloodshed, it all broke his trust. So every move he's making now, linking with NBA YoungBoy, distancing himself from OTF, and cutting off ties with the past, is his version of payback. Meanwhile, O-Block feels the betrayal started with him. They say Keef turned his back first, so in their minds, robbing him and disowning him was fair game. To them, it wasn't revenge, it was balance. Payback for what they saw as abandonment. Now it's a vicious cycle. Both sides hurt, both sides angry, and neither willing to admit they went too far. No one's backing down, and that's what keeps the tension alive, even years later. But this isn't just some neighborhood fallout anymore. It's reshaping the entire music industry. Chief Keef isn't just another rapper, he's the godfather of drill, the man who created a sound that traveled from Chicago's South Side to London, New York, and beyond. His beats, his flow, his whole style, it gave birth to an entire movement. So when he turns his back on Chicago's inner politics and links up with their biggest rivals, it's not just personal, it's historic. It's a power shift that's shaking up the drill game from the inside out. Keef's latest moves show he's done living by the old rules. Now he's rewriting the code on his own terms, proving that loyalty in the streets and loyalty in the industry don't always mean the same thing anymore. What started as a neighborhood feud has exploded into a global story, one that's redefining what loyalty, power, and legacy mean in modern hip-hop. And right in the middle of it all stands Chief Keef, the same man who built the drill empire from the ground up, now tearing down its old walls to build something entirely new. This entire saga proves one harsh truth. No one in hip-hop, no matter how big, can ever fully escape the pull of street politics. Those same forces that shaped their rise are often the same ones that tear everything apart. Chief Keef, the man who birthed the drill sound, is now working side by side with NBA YoungBoy, and that single move just shifted the entire balance of power in the rap game. By teaming up with the creator of drill, YoungBoy just gained major credibility in his ongoing war with Chicago's top artists. Having Chief Keef, the face, the pioneer, the icon of drill on his side is a massive win. It's like YoungBoy just got the ultimate stamp of approval, and it's only fueling his confidence to go toe-to-toe with Lil Durk and OTF even harder. But for the Chicago rap scene, this move sparked a huge dilemma. Do they still salute Chief Keef, the godfather who paved the way for their sound, opened doors, and inspired a generation? Or do they cut him off completely for standing next to their biggest rival? For most of them, the answer was simple: loyalty over legacy. They'll ride for their crews before they show respect to someone they now see as a traitor. And that's exactly where things start to get dangerous, because this isn't just an online debate or a war of words. It's real street politics with real consequences. In Chicago, when certain lines get crossed, it's never just talk. Retaliation can turn deadly. The fact that OTF members have publicly disowned Chief Keef shows how deep this cut runs. This stopped being about business or ego a long time ago. Now it's about respect, loyalty, and revenge. In a culture where people have literally lost their lives over less, turning your back on your block and linking with their biggest enemy is seen as the ultimate betrayal. And right now, that's exactly how O-Block sees it, like Keef crossed a line that can't be erased. But here's the twist: Chief Keef doesn't seem to care at all. He's been living in Los Angeles for years, far away from Chicago's chaos, surrounded by security, handling business, and building his empire from a distance. He's evolved. He's not the same 16-year-old kid from Parkway Gardens anymore. He's a boss now, a strategist who moves with precision, not emotion. Every step Keef takes now seems calculated, deliberate, and focused on his long-term vision, not on street approval.
He's probably already done the math and realized something the rest of them haven't.
In the end, loyalty to yourself is the only thing that truly keeps you alive and successful. While the streets back home are still arguing over codes, Keef is turning those lessons into power moves, proving that sometimes survival means walking away from the same block that once made you a legend. Chief Keef knows he's too far removed from the streets now to face any real consequences, and at this point, he's willing to risk it all just to make his message loud and clear. But the real question is, will this tension stay online, limited to disses and subtweets, or will it spill back into the streets like so many Chicago rivalries before? With the violent history tied to drill culture and how deeply personal this feud has become, the risk of things turning ugly is always there. What makes the whole situation even more dangerous is how interconnected everything is. This isn't just one beef, it's multiple storylines crashing together at once. You've got Keef versus O-Block, Durk versus YoungBoy, and long-standing tension between different Chicago sets that's been simmering for years. Now all those rivalries are colliding, and when that kind of overlap happens, it can make everything spiral way out of control. At the end of the day, Chief Keef's decision to work with NBA YoungBoy represents way more than just a studio collab. It's the final break between him and his Chicago roots. After years of betrayal, backstabbing, and silent tension, Sosa finally made his choice, and it's not with the block that made him famous. This moment marks the end of an era. Chief Keef isn't just sending a message to O-Block and OTF, he's sending it to the entire industry. He's letting the world know that he doesn't need validation from his city anymore. He doesn't need their approval, their support, or even their respect to keep winning. By standing next to YoungBoy, Keef is showing that he's officially beyond the politics, beyond the drama, and beyond the old codes that used to hold him back. He's his own boss now, moving strategically, not emotionally, and proving that independence is his strongest weapon. This isn't just one collab, one photo, or one viral clip. This is the result of years of tension finally boiling over. Chief Keef's actions are shouting louder than words ever could, telling everyone from Chicago to Baton Rouge to the whole rap world that he's gonna move how he wants, work with who he wants, and he's not looking back for anyone. The streets are locked in, watching closely. The fans are split right down the middle, some calling Keef a genius for breaking free, others labeling him disloyal for crossing old lines. And the wildest part? This story is far from over. With rumors of 6 unreleased tracks between Chief Keef and NBA YoungBoy sitting in the vault, the tension is only heating up. The chemistry, the energy, the attitude, everything about their partnership screams that this collab is about to shake the entire rap game harder than ever before. Every time one of those songs drops, it's not just music, it's a statement, a challenge, and a spark that could set off a whole new wave of reactions. Meanwhile, OTF and O-Block are standing firm, making it loud and clear that there's no coming back from what they see as the ultimate betrayal. The divide is permanent now, and both sides seem ready to live with the consequences. What's tragic about all of this is how it highlights the darker side of street politics and hip-hop, the part that turns loyalty into war and brotherhood into bitterness. Chief Keef could have been the bridge, the one to unite Chicago under one movement, one sound, one legacy. But instead, that dream got swallowed by pride, pain, and old wounds that never healed. Now, instead of bringing the city together, his every move sends it deeper into chaos, a reminder that in the world of drill, success and survival don't always walk the same path. But instead, Chief Keef has become the enemy of his own city. The same streets that once crowned him a king are now the same ones turning their backs on him. And that kind of fallout, you can't fix with a tweet, a post, or a shout-out. It's deeper than that, maybe even broken for good. For the younger generation coming up in Chicago, this whole saga hits like a warning shot, a cautionary tale about loyalty, betrayal, and how fast everything can fall apart when money, fame, and pride collide. It shows how friendships can rot from the inside when respect gets replaced by greed and ego. What once was brotherhood has now turned into all-out warfare, and the scars from it will linger for years. But this isn't just a Chicago problem. This is a hip-hop culture problem, one the entire world is watching unfold like a movie in real time. Artists, fans, and insiders are tuned in, not just for the drama, but because this story exposes something much bigger. The never-ending battle between authenticity and survival. It forces the question, Can loyalty really exist in a game fueled by fame, competition, and power? Chief Keef's decision to choose himself, to chase his own bag, his peace, and his freedom over staying loyal to a block that once tried to destroy him is shaking the culture. His move is sending a message loud and clear. In this industry, loyalty isn't guaranteed, and when survival's on the line, every man is for himself. One thing's for sure, the Chicago drill scene will never be the same again. The one-time king of O-Block has officially become its biggest enemy. And in a city where loyalty is everything, that's a line you can't uncross. Right now, the tension is still rising. More songs are dropping, more reactions are popping up, and every new post, every lyric, every collab is sparking another wave of drama. This isn't just about music anymore. It's about legacy, pride, and revenge. The deeper you look, the more tangled it gets. Personal betrayal, street codes, music industry politics, and raw Chicago pride all crashing together in one giant storm. And when those forces collide, the results are unpredictable and dangerous. As this story keeps unfolding, every single move will be analyzed. Every verse, every post, every interview will be broken down for clues about who's really standing with who and who's plotting behind the scenes. Will someone finally back down, or will things keep spiraling until somebody crosses the point of no return? History tells us this kind of Chicago beef doesn't just fade away, it erupts. Chief Keef just lit the fuse on a bomb that's been ticking for over a decade, and the world's watching to see what happens next. Because these feuds, they don't just shift careers, they destroy friendships, divide cities, and sometimes take lives. The only real question now is, how far will it go? And can anyone stop it before it turns deadly? Knowing Chicago's drill scene and the pride, pain, and power behind it, this might not be the end at all. It could be the beginning of a whole new chapter in a war that's been brewing for years. One thing's certain, it's about to get even more explosive. And we'll be right here, breaking down every twist, every update, and every shocking moment as it happens. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment below, because this story is far from over. And trust us, you don't want to miss what happens next.